Tonight on the South Today, one Taieri High School student is sick of playing the waiting game for buses to get to school. Tourism pioneer Sir John Davies celebrates the 75th anniversary of the Coronet Peak ski field. And a suburban Dunedin school prepares to farewell its principal after 18 years in charge. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Hannah Wilkins. Teenager Hunter Mitchell is regularly 45 minutes late to school, which he's blaming not on a lack of timekeeping, but to a lack of school bus services. Under the Otago Regional Council's temporary reduced Dunedin bus timetable, it's now taking him more than 2 hours to get to school each day.
13-year-old Hunter Mitchell is routinely late to school and has at times ended up way off course. His family says that's the fault of temporary changes to bus timetables by the Otago Regional Council, which has reduced the number of buses in many areas.
We ended up in Dunedin the other day, so a van ended up crashing off the road in Waldronville, and the bus ended up going up over Saddle Hill and he got into the bus hub.
Hunter gets up early, leaving home at 7:20 a.m, but often doesn't get to school until after 9:30. He says he's sick of waiting around and getting to school late.
I just annoyed.
However, he admits his teachers are sympathetic about the situation.
Oh yeah, they understand, like the bus.
The Otago Regional Council reduced bus timetables in July due to a short-staffed fleet of drivers, further impacted by COVID-19 and winter illnesses, which had been causing many services to be cancelled. But Hunter and his father say that's just not good enough.
And it's not hard just to say, right, well, we're zoned for Taieri High, we're coming to a school. I'm not going to Kings, I'm going to the school that my area is zoned to go to, and I expect the bus to pick my kid up and take him direct to the school. And
ORC staff were unavailable for comment, but in the meantime, Hunter's just hoping he can get to school on time at least once this year. On the Taieri, the South Today.
Dunedin police have recovered a vehicle they believe was involved in the suspicious death of a man in Mornington last month. Dunedin man Sean Bewis died after being struck by a car along Eglinton Road in July. A 2003 Ford Falcon similar to this one is being examined by forensic scientists after being recovered by police. The driver of the vehicle that night is being urged to come forward to give their account of what happened. Police have recovered a number of items of interest from the vehicle. The Ford Falcon has damage consistent with being involved in a crash, and serious crash analysts are now working to reconstruct what happened. A key figure in Queenstown's tourism history is proud to be helping celebrate Coronet Peak's 75th anniversary this month. Sir John Davies has been a key investor in ski fields and other ventures around the Queenstown Lakes District.
A man with a vision for the future of tourism in Queenstown. The Coronet Peak ski area is celebrating its 75th year of being a commercial ski field this month, and there's one man in particular feeling proud of the milestone. Businessman Sir John Davies has been one of the main drivers behind improvements at Coronet Peak since the early 2000s. He joined with other entrepreneurs and ski staff to buy Coronet Peak, the Remarkables, and Mount Hutt ski areas from Air New Zealand.
Duncan Smith, who was the manager of the ski fields for Air New Zealand, came into my office and said, "You've got a reputation for developing things. Would you be interested in putting a company together to try and buy the ski fields?"
Sir John was born in Dunedin in 1941, moving to Queenstown with his then future wife, Patricia Uren, in the early 60s. Before getting involved in the tourism industry, Sir John was a farmer. He then moved into the transport industry and developed other tourism businesses around the Central Lakes, Southland and Mackenzie districts. He even served as first mayor of Queenstown Lakes in the late 80s. Looking back on his career, Sir John's very proud of the achievements he's accomplished with Lady Trish Davies.
But it's been wonderful for Queenstown and Wanaka. It's made tourism in this area.
Sir John Davies admits even he's amazed by the transformation of Coronet Peak over the years, giving credit to the vision of locals, management and staff at the popular ski area. In Queenstown, the South Today.
Dunedin Mayor Aaron Hawkins has acknowledged long-serving former City Councillor and businessman Paul Hudson, who died over the weekend after suffering a stroke. The former Cadbury executive and city councillor was 73 years old. Paul Hudson worked for Cadbury Fry Hudson between the 70s and late 90s. He's seen here last year examining the company's old ledgers, which were discovered during the factory's demolition. He held elected positions on the Port Chalmers and Dunedin City Councils, including serving as Deputy Mayor on both. He also chaired Dunedin City Holdings, which controls the council-owned companies, for 18 years. Paul Hudson was made a member of the Order of New Zealand in 2014 for his services to business and the community. The principal of Green Island School is retiring after 18 years in charge. Steve Hayward's enjoyed his time at the school, particularly the supportive attitude of the local community.
Steve Hayward may be about to retire as principal of Green Island School, but he's not too old to enjoy some of the playground activities on offer, such as slides and flying foxes. Outside of the classroom, he's a member of the Otago Outdoor Education Trust, and he's keen to see the school continue its annual outdoor camps at Deep Cove and Fiordland's Doubtful Sound.
My predecessor was really keen to see us carry on the outdoor education program that she had developed, and that the ultimate prize there is the Deep Cove camp for the Year 8 students, so we still do that.
Hayward's been the principal at Green Island School for 18 years. He's been a popular leader there, having been asked to MC at 5 weddings of former pupils. And he's always been impressed with the area's community spirit.
It's a fantastic suburb to live in, and so it's a real community here. And I remember going to my first cheese roll making thing, and the number of people from the community that were there. They didn't have any children at school or grandkids, but they came along to help make the cheese rolls, and then that money goes to swimming and school camp and things like that.
In his retirement, Hayward's planning to continue serving on various local committees, as well as having a bit more fun outdoors. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Whai Akane, still to come on the South Today. We meet an internet-savvy Aucklander who's traded in city life to step behind the bar of a central Otago tavern. And while we're in that neck of the woods, hockey fans are keeping it in the family.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life. Tuesdays, 7:30.
Shall I make some scones?
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Every day the team at Gillian supports grieving families at their time of need. From answering your questions to organising a farewell that reflects the wishes of your loved one, we can help. Call Gillian's today. If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. An internet-savvy digital marketing expert has swapped her Auckland job for a quieter one in central Otago. Jen Kirchhofer has joined the team at the Wedderburn Tavern and in her spare time has been learning about sheep and beef farming.
Working behind the bar is a change of pace for Jen Kirchhofer. The digital marketer and strategist has moved down from Auckland to Wedderburn in central Otago to help out at the local tavern. She saw the job advertised on TradeMe and thought it was a good opportunity to get away from the big city rat race.
I think something in my email said something about, I'd like to think I'm an all-around good sort and I'm always willing to try to learn more. And boy, have I learned a lot since I've lived here.
Kirchhofer actually worked in the hospitality industry many years ago, prior to becoming an online digital marketer, and she says all the tricks of the trade are coming back to her. Since her arrival in Wedderburn earlier this year, she's also been learning about farming.
Everything from feeding the sheep to, I fixed one of the horses' jackets the other day because it had come unbuckled, shifted some cows recently, went to the Duncan's bull sale at Penvos Farms.
It was during that bull sale that she learned a bit more about rural etiquette, discovering a friendly wave to someone she knew could be mistaken for an auction bid, which resulted in her nearly purchasing a bull by accident. In Wedderburn, the South Today.
The family nature of Central Otago hockey was on display over the weekend at the Regional Hockey Association's Women's Final. Former players cheered on their daughters and granddaughters from the sidelines.
Fast but friendly hockey was played at Central Otago Hockey Association's matches over the weekend, capping off a season of entertaining field hockey. After close games last week during the women's final, mixed high school games and the men's final, Alexandra scored on Saturday against Cromwell in the fourth quarter to take the women's trophy for the third year running. The co-president of the regional association says the competition was tight.
And the fact that the final was played between the teams that finished third and fourth in the pool play shows how close the whole competitions in all the grades have been, really.
Wakatipu had won a shootout against Cromwell the previous week to take the men's championship. In other results, Cromwell won a shootout against Dunstan High School in the Senior B final, while Dunstan won the Senior A final on Friday night against Upper Clutha, also by a penalty shootout. Sally Millay says at the end of the competition, the teams put on-field rivalries behind them to have some fun.
And now what they do is they all get dressed up for a night out together, all the four teams.
Millay, attempting not to show favouritism at being pleased with the result, admitting it was her daughter Bridget who scored the winning goal for Alexandra. In Alexandra, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Taieri High School student Hunter Mitchell is sick of playing the waiting game for buses to get to school. Tourism pioneer Sir John Davies is celebrating the 75th anniversary of the Coronet Peak ski field. And Green Island School prepares to farewell Principal Steve Hayward after 18 years at the helm. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, and we welcome the Deputy Editor, Craig Page. Kia ora, Craig.
Good evening.
What can we expect in your paper tomorrow?
We're having another look at local body elections tomorrow. There appears to be several candidates cropped up throughout the region who are affiliated with the anti-vax, anti-mandate group Voices for Freedom.
Okay.
I guess there's concern that they aren't telling voters of their affiliations prior to the election. They sent out a bit of a rallying call prior to the elections, asking members to stand and say that try and make New Zealand ungovernable. So we've had a bit of a chat to a local academic.
Good on you.
And he's saying, look, voters need to do their homework, make sure they know who they're voting for before they tick the box.
Good point, yep.
Yeah, Fresh Pages, Ben Norfolk, the owner and chef of a well-known Queenstown restaurant, The Bunker. We had to catch up with him.
Lovely.
Yeah, it's been tough times for restaurants obviously up there and everywhere at the moment. So good chat with him, and he gives us one of his recipes for paua tortellini as well.
Oh,
so
gorgeous.
Very
Look forward
nice.
to that.
And a bit of sport as well. Talked to Highlanders coach Clark Dermody. He's going to be naming his coaching team very soon, but he's pretty excited about the performance of a couple of Highlanders in the test match at the weekend, Ethan de Groot and Shannon Frizzell. A couple of standouts for the All Blacks in their win over South Africa. So good sign for the Highlanders next year, hopefully.
Absolutely. Oh, we look forward to reading all those stories and more in tomorrow's paper. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
And time now for a look at the weather.
The South Today weather, proudly brought to you by MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Looking at the situation, mild tomorrow with some light rain at times on the Otago coast, but mostly dry weather elsewhere. Heading to the top of the South Island, well, heavy rain and north to northeast winds will wash their way over these parts, with Nelson, Greymouth and Christchurch all in for a 15-degree high tomorrow, with a red heavy rain warning in place across Westland. Travelling to South Canterbury and North Otago, northeasterly winds continue through here with the risk of rain. Ashburton and Timaru will get a high of 15, with the Waimatu just behind on 14. Westwards now to the Central Lakes. Light winds and a cloudy one through here. Wanaka is getting 15 with a few spits of rain. 14 over in Queenstown and another 15 on the board, this time for Alex. Heading further south, more light winds and high cloud on the way. Numbers wise, expect a warm 16 degrees for Balclutha, Gore and the Catlins. Now down to the deep south. Cloudy tonight in Invercargill with a low of 10 degrees. Tomorrow looks sunny after some high clouds with warm northerlies before a late shower or two. A nice 15-degree day. And similar conditions on Thursday, although the temperature drops a bit, giving a high of 10. And lastly, heading to Dunedin. Rain tonight with northerlies and a low of 10 degrees. Overcast tomorrow with light rain and northeasterlies and a high of 14. And into Thursday, early showers pass pretty quickly, turning into a cloudy day with light southerlies and a top temperature of 10 degrees. And that's the news this Tuesday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. And you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. We'll see you again tomorrow. Ka kite a pōpō.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.